You know that moment. Everyone's talking over each other like it's a competitive sport. And there's one person sitting there, calm, listening, saying almost nothing. And somehow, they feel like the most dangerous person in the room. Not scary dangerous, more like they know something you don't dangerous. If you're that person, you've probably heard, "Why are you so quiet? Are you mad? Say something." As if silence is a software bug that needs fixing. But here's the twist. What if not talking much isn't awkward, but a psychological advantage? Let's unpack what's really happening inside the minds of people who speak less, and why silence is often misunderstood power. Here's a relatable scenario. Someone asks a question. The room instantly fires responses like popcorn. Meanwhile, you pause. You think. You filter. You decide if speaking is even worth the energy. Psychologists call this high cognitive processing. Fancy term for your brain is running chess while others are playing verbal ping pong. Research suggests quieter individuals tend to engage more internal evaluation before speaking. Instead of reacting, they simulate outcomes. They don't talk to fill space. They talk to add value. Silence for them isn't absence. It's analysis, like your brain buffering a high-definition thought. And that pause people interpret as awkward? That's actually mental precision. Talking isn't free. Every sentence costs attention, emotional exposure, and social risk. People who don't talk much subconsciously run what I like to call a word economy. Their brain asks, "Is this worth spending energy on?" Psychologists might frame this under behavioral inhibition, which sounds scary, but it's really just strong internal filters. Imagine your thoughts are VIP guests and your mouth is an exclusive nightclub. Not everyone gets in. This doesn't mean quiet people have fewer thoughts. It means they curate expression. And paradoxically, this restraint often makes their words land harder because rarity creates weight. When they speak, people lean in, not because they're loud, but because they're selective, while others are busy broadcasting. Quiet people are collecting data, tone shifts, micro-reactions, social dynamics. Research suggests individuals who speak less often allocate more attention to environmental scanning. A fancy way of saying they're reading the room like a psychological weather forecast. Who's insecure? Who's performing? Who's honest? Their silence isn't disengagement, it's surveillance, like an emotional sonar. And here's the hidden insight. The less you talk, the more you notice. And the more you notice, the more socially intelligent you become. It's hard to read the room when you're busy filling it with your voice, you know. But a lot of people talk because silence feels uncomfortable. It's like standing in an elevator where nobody presses a button. Quiet individuals tend to have higher tolerance for internal space. Psychologists sometimes connect this to interoceptive awareness, a fancy term for being okay inside your own head. They don't need constant noise to validate their presence. They exist without performing. And that self-containment can look mysterious, because most people are used to external reassurance loops. Talking, reacting, filling air. But quiet minds? They're not empty. They're occupied. With reflection, imagination, strategy, or simply calm. Silence, for them, is home. And here's where it gets interesting. When someone rarely speaks, their words gain psychological gravity. It's scarcity psychology. Research suggests humans instinctively assign higher value to limited signals. Same reason rare items feel important. So when the quiet person talks, everyone subconsciously thinks, this must matter. Their communication isn't diluted by excess. It's concentrated. Like espresso instead of tap water. And this controlled expression builds an aura. Thoughtful, intentional, grounded, not because they're trying to appear deep, but because restraint naturally signals self-regulation. If you don't talk much, you've probably felt misunderstood. Mistaken for shy, cold, disinterested, awkward, but psychologically, you may simply be wired for observation, reflection, and precision. Silence isn't a flaw. It's a different communication strategy. And in a world addicted to noise, quiet can feel almost rebellious. But here's the real insight. Not speaking constantly doesn't mean you lack thoughts. It often means your thoughts are curated, deliberate, and internally rich. You're not absent, you're selective. And that's a strength, not a deficiency. So if you're the quiet one, the listener, the observer, the person who speaks when it matters, you're not broken and you're not behind. You're wired for depth in a world obsessed with noise. And once you see that, silence stops feeling like something to apologize for. And starts feeling like power. If this resonated, subscribe for more psychology deep dives where we unpack how minds really work. See you next video.